Hopped up here, but to, well, almost no avail. Archie able to line up a shot. Vatira got a piece. And Relating Wave goes around one. Joyo with a big booming clear that sends Archie all the way back. And this is awkward. What? I don't know what in the world happened with Archie, but Rise will take advantage.
I have no clue what happened. Just a big whiff on the field. He had plenty of boost, and you could see the look on his face. He realized
Forrest to keep the play alive. Sends Relating Wave to the corner. Here's Archie running on. And Joyo Kami with the stop right in front. And Archie got this one away from Rise, who was just very pedestrian with that ball. And Endpoint allowed to stay on the attack. Metza going after Vatira and just bullied him away, allowing Relating Wave to tie the game.
Well, all he had to do was just show that he was going for bump, and Vatira couldn't do anything other than try and avoid it. Orange half, and Endpoint gladly going to let that one hit the ground, wipe the hands off, and send us right into overtime.
What's the most appropriate way to end game one after talking about two explosive offenses?
A
quick overtime. Vatira, 8 seconds in, has another strong start to a series.
Look at this ground pinch. Ow, nasty. Goes off of an Endpoint player into the net. And Moist Esports knocked
at some point. Vatira had that one deflected away by Relating Waves, so Joyo's got to play that from his own backboard. And Vatira around Metza Norris.
Oh, nice.
Vatira solo effort. No assist needed. Vatira's on fire.
Just slice and dice by 1, by 2, the third. See ya later, Vatira. Putting Endpoint in a clip, putting them in a blender, and on the dry cycle.
You talk about 1-0 lead. Can't imagine this will be enough to hold the line. A second would certainly help, but Rise is denied by Metza Norris, his third save. 3rd out of 5. There have been no saves on the Moist side of the field, and Vatira adds to his tally another unassisted goal.
Stacks, look at this angle. Oh my goodness. Relating Wave had to respect the fact that Rise was streaking down the center of the field, and you'd think Vatira's got to pass there.
No, Relating Wave has one on target-ish, not saved. There have been no saves from Moist. You talk about their defense. Hey, the best defense is to not let him shoot at all. Vatira streaking down the field, trying to add one more. He doesn't. There at the end of Game 6 after their timeout yesterday. We talked about on the desk teams using their timeouts to great effect in the Super 16, where it looked like maybe they were starting to go out of favor. Archie with the demo. It's an open net. They can't miss this. Relating Wave gives Endpoint the lead.
My goodness, Relating Wave just goes coast to coast, and Archie clears the way for him. He just rolled that ball in.
Season.
My goodness.
One shot.
That is impressive. I mean, you've got to commend Moist Esports for just really keeping Endpoint in the orange half there as Rise gets by 1, not by 2. And oh, big mistake by Joyo on the back half. The ball just floats over his head, and Endpoint up by 2.
Relating Wave was brilliant at times against Team BDS, and then at others maybe disappeared a little bit, but he has shown up in a big. All the pressure coming now from Endpoint. Joyo just trying to do everything he can to get quickly down the side wall. Rise waiting.
Archie.
It fell to him. Archie couldn't clear, and Moister on the board.
That's the second time now where this ball's gone off the backboard for free. You gotta get the touch, especially at this level, especially on Sunday, especially that far into this tournament. And Endpoint give one away. Moist Esports cut the lead in half.
That's the 8th goal between these two teams. Only the second assist as Archie made the save. Another follow-up save. And finally, Joyo Kami will come through. Joyo ties the game after a relentless barrage off the kickoff.
And just chaos on the back line for Endpoint. And Joyo saw Metza creeping forward, knew that right upper 90 was going to be wide open, and the accuracy on display for the young Joyo Kami as Moist Esports evaporate the lead from Endpoint.
Europe has been fun to watch in this one. The Super 16 heating up as Archie adds another off the kickoff. It is Super Saturday all over again.
Oh my goodness, 131 kilometers per hour. Some heat put behind that ball as Archie takes a pass off a relating wave.
Relating wave with the rejection. Metza Norris to sky one away from Vatira. Joya's got to keep it in the air. It's angling downward. Rise couldn't get it to Vatira, and Endpoint are alive in the series.
My goodness, great use of that timeout. Talk about putting the blood pressure up on that play.
Relating wave down to Archie. Last second effort is sent away, and Rise for Vatira in behind the defense. And that's it! Far down and through after so many near misses. This one ends in regulation.
Why not? Why not? Just no second on the clock, no time remaining. Just put it in. No overtime needed.
And that's it! Far down and through after so many near misses. This one ends in regulation.
Why not? Why not? Just no second on the clock, no time remaining. I love the aggression that we were seeing. I love the fact that they were staying in that blue half, but 0 seconds remaining on the clock. You can't go all in, especially when it's all tied up. You've got to remember, your third man has to be far enough away just in case that big clear comes out. Oh, Vatira. Oh, Vatira getting physical on the back line.
Yeah, put an asterisk next to this one. Sure, not assisted. Yes, it was. Vatira putting Archie in the net. Rise followed it up with the ball in the net. Just over a minute gone by, and Moist Esports have all the momentum. They hold all the cards. They got an empty net, and Vatira slots it home.
Endpoint starting to fall apart. 6 seconds later, Rise gets a big clear downfield, which turns into a perfect pass. And all Vatira has to do is slot it in. Big time cushion for Moist Esports in this series.
Here, no, he can't. And Joyo has Rise, and Archie with a clear. That assist by Rise to set up the game winner. Last game, again, has to wait. Metza Norris will score with 2:40 to go. And it's a stat that actually might be relevant if Endpoint can mount a comeback.
I like the idea there from Rise to go off your own back wall, treat it as an extra player on your team, extra teammate to pass to, but you gotta follow through with that double tap or you leave your teammate on the goal line just stranded on an island. And Metza Norris capitalizes beautifully as Endpoint 1/2 to go here, still chasing 1 goal. That's a great opportunity, and Archie gonna tie it up.
Yeah, I was kind of cheering for this to happen. BDS couldn't do this against Endpoint. Endpoint coming through clutch at the end. Second half of Game 5, battling back from the to slow down Metza Norris. We're on that 0-second mark. It's Archie this time, and Vatira was at least in the way. Relating wave, top angle, we're going to Game 6. Relating wave is unreal.
No way, Relating wave saying, Rise, anything you can do, I can do better, and puts it right over his head. Endpoint keeping themselves alive.
And Game 6, Relating wave is unreal.
No way, Relating wave saying, Rise, anything you can do, I can do better, and puts it right over his head. Endpoint keeping them.
As great a storyline as that has been to follow, everything else has been supremely fun and entertaining. This one, no exception, and Relating wave will do it again.
Just 8 seconds later, but it's a new game. Endpoint continue to keep that pressure, and it was just chaos on the back line. The ball could only stay there for long enough, and it's all smiles on the side of Endpoint, and a stark contrast on the side
from Moist Esports. All of a sudden, looking like we may get to Champions Field, but there's still a long way to go here, and maybe an insurance goal or 2 required. This will drop down to Metza, and there's 1.
Metza extending the lead by 1 here is Archie. Great pass, but Rise falters on the goal line there. Needed to get the touch as that ball goes freely. Off one here is Archie. Great pass, but Rise falters on the goal line there. Needed to get the touch as that ball goes freely off the backboard. And you can't be having that, like we've been talking about, Stacks, at this level, as Archie gets his second assist of the game, his third of the series, and Endpoint running away here in game number 6.
That's just casually relating Wave with the 6th goal of the series. The easiest one he's had by far. A couple of assists to go as well. Relating Wave refuses to lay down for Moist Esports. And he got a big win here. Can he get the shot off? He sure can. He does it again. It's a hat trick.
Hey, just drive forward. That's the new meta. Just drive forward. Continue to go through that ball. And you saw him get a nice little wave dash to catch up to it, beat out Rise, and push that ball towards the goal line. 4-0 in favor of Endpoint. And everyone getting involved. Moist Esports got to start thinking about game number 7.
Joyo off the crossbar. Rise, no. Vatira, yes, with 1:27 to go. And normally I would roll my eyes at the idea that this would be possible, but it is Moist Esports, a team that has done this before.
All right, maybe I won't roll them. I'll just blink a few times, because 3 goals in 1.5 minutes against a team like Endpoint, gonna be a tough ask, especially when they're keeping pressure on like that. Woo. And Archie puts the lead back up to 4. Another big miss off that backboard.
And that might have stopped any hopes of such a comeback. But again, we've seen them score in bunches on this very arena. 1:20, 4 goals, any hopes of such a comeback. But again, we've seen them score in bunches on this very arena. 1:20, 4-goal lead again for Endpoint. Metza Norris. Are they going to get another off the kickoff? No, and that's a quick answer from Rise. And Joyo shot got by Archie.
I love this pinch off the back wall from Rise. Bang! Relating Wave not expecting that. Joyo, you see him position himself upside down, gets below the Relating Wave, recognize it at the last second, so pushes it into the corner to slow down Moist Esports.
4 of these games have been decided by just 1 goal, and then all of a sudden you have this aberration that's getting a little bit closer. Joyo adds 1 here with just over 1 minute to go, and this is very much within Moist reach.
My eyebrows are starting to raise a little bit, Stacks. What is going on right now with Endpoint? You gotta focus up. Still up by...
To work with, 7 seconds. Time is gonna expire on Moist, and we will indeed head to Champions Field as this Cinderella comeback story continues.
The glimmer of hope turned into a mirage as everybody needs to focus up on the field. Vatira wins that 50 on the back wall. Joyo fakes out. Rise goes down low, and Archie comes in from nowhere, pinches that ball off of Metza, and Rise there, cheating in the zone, puts it in for Moist Esports.
Vatira did this to put the series away yesterday, just kind of hanging around in the zone. And this time it's Rise who's the recipient of a great fortuitous ball. And now it's Moist. 10 seconds to go. Relating Wave, here's his opportunity. He's been incredible all series. Vatira shut him down. 2 seconds left. There is not an orange car in sight, and Moist Esports have done it again on Champions Field.